Hey guys, welcome to Sketchaday. It's me, Spencer. We're back again, and things have been crazy. Hopefully, you guys are doing well and staying safe and healthy. If this is your first time, definitely hit subscribe, turn on alerts, come say hi on the socials. I'm at sketchaday.com on Instagram, and visit sketchaday.com where you'll be able to sign up for my newsletter with my super sketch tip guide. So today we're going to do a hand tool, a simple screwdriver, and we're going to be using markers, pens, pencils, all of that good stuff. As always, the materials will be in the description for the video just below if you're watching on YouTube here. And you can use those links to help support Sketchaday if you purchase your materials that way. So when I'm drawing something like a screwdriver, anything really, I try to think in three phases: form, divide, beautify, but also think about the main parts of the form. So since a screwdriver kind of has a central axis, I'm going to start with just a line across the paper like so. Always warm up, of course, and things that are closer to us are going to be bigger than things further away. So if you want to do that, you can actually draw another two lines like so on your page, round out the bottom if you're going to have a nice straight shaft, and then another ellipse closer to the front like so. Now with my screwdriver, what I'm thinking is something kind of like this. We have our nice rounded end. Maybe this is a cap for screws and so forth for storage, and then we have a little bit of a return affordance and protection, so if your hand slips, you don't shove it right into whatever you're working on, and the shaft of the screwdriver, which is terminated in whatever way it is. Now on my design, I have the curved portion on the main body of the screwdriver, the affordance, and the end. So now what I need to do is actually offset this ellipse. So I'm going to project my lines out just a little bit more here and do two ellipses, one like so and another one like so. Now as you can see, principles of perspective here in effect. The handle is a little bit long, so I'm going to shorten that like so, and our line weight will kind of help take care of that. But also I kind of have this curved body, so just with a couple lines here, curve the body at the beginning and end point of the shape like so. And if you're using something like a Papermate Flare, which is what I'm using, you'll want to make sure you hit that line just a couple times so that it bumps the line weight, or you could use a Sharpie or whatever your favorite fat marker is. Now for this portion, just going to put an ellipse down like so and two little lines, and that's going to basically be my fillet transition on this surface. Alright, I'm going to throw another line in there just to help describe the form. Now, what if our screwdriver had slots of some sort on it, like is typical of a screwdriver? How do you address that? Well, what I'm going to do here is just map out the slots on the handle. Okay, so just a couple little C shapes, something like this. 1, 2, and I'm trying to think of how many segments might be on this design. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, for example. And now draw these lines to the extent of the screwdriver. And depending on how you're looking at this, one of these lines is going to be a little bit darker than the others. So in this case, for example, where I have a nice crisp edge coming back, I'll combine these two like so, and now I have my edge. So just to finish off and fix this, I'm going to round out the bottom here. Remember, I did say that perhaps there's a nice round bottom, and it is used to store those screwdriver bits, so that's where that's coming from on my design. And I have my little hand guard, as well as, let's go ahead and get the shaft sketched in. So since my page is not big enough to contain the whole drawing, I'm going to kind of end the drawing here and perhaps use this opportunity to have a nice background element that intersects the overall sketch. Now, once again, hopefully you guys aren't tired of me saying this, but thanks again to Chad for helping me get these markers. I really do appreciate it. So I'm just using a green chart pack marker, and I have a couple greens that I can use as well. So we'll start by just shading the overall form like so, trying to pay attention to things like shadow cores and where I may have a highlight. Okay, may have a highlight on the top here. So I'm going to keep that ridge a little bit light and free of marker. And next to that, in the groove here, adding some marker on the bottom side here as well. Just some marker in that slot or groove. And now I can take a little darker marker like this. Let's see, we have a Chartpak Jade and we have an Emerald Green. Let's see which of these will work better. I'm kind of getting back to Chartpaks. It's been a while and I don't use them very often, frankly. So I'm not as hot on knowing which color is which right off the bat. So forgive me as I check. So now, just to help punch the contrast, we'll hit some of these dark areas. Again, things on the far side, things in shadow, all of that good stuff with this green marker. And if you're worried about contrast, don't worry too much. Contrast is your friend. That's really what's going to help your sketches pop and feel realistic. So don't be afraid of having some contrast in your sketch. Certainly you don't want to go too dark to where things are super muddy and mudded. Muddy? I guess that's the word, muddy. So just watch out for that. But if you work lightly with a light enough touch, it's pretty easy to then just get the gradations that you are after. Okay, so even things here where our surfaces are changing direction, kind of like to hit that again with some green, just so that we have that gradation and transition that we're after in the overall form. Let's finish off the butt of the screwdriver, so to speak, with a little bit of green, just like that. And this front portion I want to be gray, so I'm just going to grab a gray marker here. I'm using a Copic C3 marker to start. And because I'm using a Papermate Flare pen, my marker stroke actually won't bleed as I'm using, or it won't cause the pen to bleed rather. So I can go ahead and shade this in, create my blends, all of that. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to place the shadow core on the front of the screwdriver here in roughly the same place it was on the shaft, right? I want to give that continuity of lighting so that things just feel consistent and like they make sense. So at this point, just with a C5 marker, Cool Gray 5, let's go ahead and make this just a little bit darker. This marker is like super juicy too, which is nice. I think it's one of the ones I recently rehabbed. You definitely want to take stock of your markers from time to time and make sure that they are nice and replenished. If you're using Copic markers, that's pretty easy to do, and you can watch my video on my channel about how to do that if you're curious. So be sure to check that out. Okay, so now that we have this portion done, kind of filled in and working on our blends here, I'm creating a light to dark even on the front because light never hits the surface perfectly evenly, okay? So the shadow needs to be a little bit darker than the rest of this and so on. So I'll even come back and hit that shadow. All right, so now for the chrome bit, I'm gonna take a nice dark gray marker. I've got this C8, which I'm gonna start with. And what you wanna do is kind of think about the scene that this thing is in and try and determine the lighting. Now, this is a curved surface, like a cylinder. And if you look at cylinders in your environment, things like the chrome pipes on your faucet or sink or toilet fixtures, you'll notice that there tends to be very distinct and dark areas on those highlights. So that's one of the important bits. If you're going to be doing something chrome, is try and keep a nice crisp highlight if possible, because that's going to help immediately communicate. And without doing much more, you can kind of see what's happening here. Now, if this is not in an outdoor environment, I'm not going to put blue on my chrome. I'm actually going to use gray. So let's grab this Cool Gray 3 and just on the top, not quite to the edge right there, just on the top, let's pull in a little bit and now create a nice little gradient on the top and a gradient on the bottom as well. And I'm gonna push my shadow under this shaft right here so that it helps the sketch pop even more. Okay, So I know on the channel there is another tutorial on a screwdriver. I kind of felt like doing one today. So hopefully, guys, this was beneficial to you and you're able to learn something new. Just to finish things off, a little heavier line with this Copic Special Black marker on the underside of the screwdriver. Not too heavy, not too thick here. Don't want to overwhelm the sketch, but enough to kind of clean up the form and the shape as we go and finish up the concept here. All right. Okay, I'm gonna actually, I think, use a little bit of pencil as well, just to enhance this green. I don't quite have the green I want, but let's try a little marker first. Okay, just like this. Actually, the green works pretty well now that the ink is dried, so I may not need the pencil, but I wanted to hit some of these areas where I did have some shadowing happen so that now things read more three-dimensionally. And that's really the ultimate goal and what you're after, is you want to make sure you have nice blends and things just feel like they flow and have some three-dimensionality to them. So work light till you get it right. Squint your eyes if you have to when you're working. That's going to help expose or show where you need to add additional contrast in your drawings. And don't be afraid of contrast, because it is going to help things just read so much better on your sketches as you're working. All right, couple finishing touches here, maybe a few reflection artifacts and so forth in this screwdriver, just like so. A little green there on the top. And we're in a pretty good spot, guys. I'm going to add just a little texture as well to this gray area with a few stipple marks. And if there's a portion of your sketch that's important, and if this is a presentation page, you'll want to add some notes to the sketch. This is just junk text, but I do want to kind of show you how this works. If you do try it for yourselves, I want you guys to check the link in the description for my Discord server. You can join that. And if the link's not active or working for some reason, just feel free to reach out and I will post that. An update rather, so you can join. And once again, thank you so much if you've made it this far. I really do appreciate you being a fan and being interested in what we do. I want you guys to check out my other channel if you have kids. I haven't quite decided on the name yet, but working name is Sketchaday Kids, and we're just gonna be drawing fun pictures and drawings for your kids while we're all kind of cooped up here. So definitely check that out. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I had fun and I certainly hope you did, and we'll see you next time right here on Sketchaday.